So picking up where the confession is, and going to the next part. The next part of it, if you read it, if you keep up with the post, and and you reading and stuff like that, the next part of the phrase goes by, because I have offended thee by all type of sins of the flesh. Flesh being this. So you know my philosophy already when it comes down to sins, and you know what real sin is, and what's up, ladies? And so you know my definition of what real sin is. Real sin to me is when there's one individual who really lets something harbor inside their system, and kind of allow it to manifest into something where you act upon, causing some type of disruption or corruption on a global scale. So now you're probably thinking, how can by the flesh, how can you take that when it's an individual thing? Because when you say you have sinned by the flesh, it's an individual thing. And so now going back towards my past videos, individually, I know I question this and I say this a lot, but individually, there's no way you can cause real sin on a global scale because it's individual. Unless you walking down the street, like if you walking down the street, butt ass naked, just exposing yourself, and people are down the street are seeing you, or people walking down the street are seeing you, that's an individual thing which causes personal problems to you and yourself individually. And maybe the couple people who ride down the street and see you, maybe like, oh, that's something nice to look at, or why they doing that? I don't want my kids seeing that. So how can you take something as, because I have sinned by thee, because of all type of sins of the flesh, how can you cause that on a global scale? Well, now you have the introduction of social media. So now when you go by the flesh, when you take this and you allow it to, when you take your sin, when you take your flesh, and and you're causing harm to it, where it's killing you, killing what's on the outside, killing what's on the inside. Because when you start killing what's on the inside, it starts to show on the outside. That'll be the flesh. But you masquerade it up, and you kind of like, doing this and that. And then you present that flesh or that thing as it being pure instead of it being an impurity. When you present it and you publicly try to show it and mask it up as in like, and then you go out into the world and and people see it and kind of like, this is the thing, and especially if you have like relations and stuff like that, and especially if you already killing yourself on the inside, on the outside, it can be fooled, it can be masqueraded up, it can be masqueraded up, it could be covered up and stuff, and that's when it starts to cause on a global scale. Because now on a global scale, when somebody's seen like a video or something, you hashtagged it the right way, or it got pushed at all kind of this and that, and that's when it reaches a global scale. And then you go out, and then people, men, women, they like what they see and stuff like that. They come try to track it down and find it. I want to see what's up with this and that, and then that's when it starts to cover on a global scale, because somebody will travel from way on the other side, from the east side of the earth to the west side of the earth, and vice versa. And then after they done doing what they doing, and not knowing that the flesh has already is in the process of being like destroyed, and not knowing what's going on the inside, then they'll take that and go back to their side of the earth, and then start the covering and stuff like that, and that's where it starts to manifest and go through it. So, yeah. So there you go. My personal confession of what real sin is. Not individually, but on a global scale. Hey ladies, how y'all doing? The Real. I like them a lot.